Ok, Connery. Benvenuti un podcast di Neil Connery. Ici Neil Knox, presenta I miei ospiti Neil B. Anderson, Neil Lawler. Stasera parliamo di Operation Kid Brother con protagonista lo scozzese Neil Connery. Come stanno tutti?
Mezzo. How are you, David?
I'm fine.
He's trying to figure out what the hell did I just listen to here? Okay. What are we doing? Something in Italian, no doubt.
We're going to talk about OK Connery. I don't know.
Okay, Operation 007?
Explain what this actually is. Also, my paper got wet and I'm leaking ink. Sorry.
I'm still trying to figure it out.
It's a James Bond movie, obviously, but it's not James Bond. It's Neil Bond. But it's not Neil Bond. It's Neil Connery, because they keep referring to Neil Connery playing himself in the movie.
Yeah, it's almost like they're trying to do something, and the only man that can help is the guy who plays James Bond's brother. He's the only man that can fix this problem.
But they call him Neil Connery, Doctor.
Yeah, even at the end, somebody says M or whoever he's playing. He says, "Okay, Connery."
Yeah, they had to throw that in, I guess, for the song. But this is I view this as a step brother James Bond movie, because it has a bunch of people in it who are in Bond movies. Right. Here we see Adolfo Celi again as the bad guy here. He was
that's a sexy man right there.
Yeah.
Love that bathrobe.
That's comfy though. But he doesn't have an eye patch in this. But he was the bad guy in Thunderball. And then you have Daniela Bianchi, who was in
From Russia with
Love.
Yeah.
And then you have Anthony Dawson, the really ugly dude. He was in Dr. No. And
it's weird. This doesn't play as a parody, really. This plays as it's like just about to. It feels like something that you would have seen in an actual James Bond movie a couple of movies later.
Kind of, yeah, except just a little bit less money. Like Dr. No money.
Yeah.
I would say.
Well, because Lois Maxwell, who plays Moneypenny, is playing Miss Maxwell, so there's some kind of attempt to be clever here. Obviously,
they're saying what they're actually saying is that James Bond is a real person, but Sean Connery is James Bond. Therefore, Sean Connery's brother, Neil Connery, is the brother of a famous international super spy.
I got all that.
Except he's not. He's a doctor.
Doctor and a hypnotist.
And an expert lip reader who also teaches at Columbia University.
And he's an archer. Let's not forget
and
that.
He's a prize-winning archer, too, on top of that. He has lived a rich, full life.
There's the Cracker Jack girls.
The hot, sexy Cracker Jack girls, which is so bizarre.
The thing is, though, when you look, and when we get to him, he looks like he's kind of afraid through the whole thing of like, I don't want to mess this up.
You talking about Neil?
Yeah, Neil. He doesn't look like he's having fun at all.
Well, it's weird. I don't understand why they dubbed it. And what's more, a lot of these people are being dubbed. And they're speaking English. If you look at their lips, because I have the art of lip reading too. I'm an expert.
Well, maybe they just shot them and they didn't have time for the ADR, so they're like, "We'll ADR it at some other point."
There's Daniela there.
People. Yeah, there she is,
wearing a very, very lovely.
But how many years away? This is about 5 years away from Russia with Love.
Well, yeah, from Russia with Love, 63, and this was 67. And I'll bet you,
67, about 4 years.
I'll bet you they shot this economically too. This was not a Casino Royale runaway production that just went nuts. I think they got down to business and they did it.
Somehow she's not as annoying in this as she was in From Russia with Love.
Really?
She's not as much of a load, no.
No, she's not.
Oh,
look,
she's more evil. She's got more to do
There's
with
her
it.
Fred Flintstone coat.
And then the guy just falls up. Did she kill him?
The doctor will see you now. Poor guy.
He's alive, I think.
Now, for some reason, she's working for Adolfo Celi at the beginning, but then she
defects to the end.
So she defects, so she's just like her character in From Russia with Love?
Yeah, basically.
Except
Although
not,
it's not as clear, but
there's no Cold War here. This
Right.
guy is evidently... his plan is something about a magnet,
a
right?
giant magnet, yeah.
He's going to use a giant magnet to, I don't know, collect...
Suck all the mechanisms in the world? Break all the mechanisms? I don't know.
Turn off all kinds of mechanization? I mean, here's the Morton's fisherman here that he's talking to.
Gordon's fisherman.
The Gorton's fisherman. Sorry, trust the Gorton's fisherman.
And you got to trust him too.
Now I'm going to be a lot kinder to this movie than I will be on Casino Royale because it's obviously a lower budget production. The only thing that baffles me is the fact that you have a lot of English actors speaking English, but they get overdubbed later, and it's just so obvious. I'm not sure if I believe that might be Lois Maxwell's voice. I'm not sure. Oh, and this lady too. She was also in. I believe she was in You Only Live Twice.
Oh,
I believe she shows up in that movie. I'm not 100% sure, but I believe that also. This is so bizarre. I mean, okay. Where do we start off with? We got a dead agent. Obviously, you always have a dead agent, and then they bring in Neil because. Why did they bring in Neil? Just because he's Sean Connery's brother doesn't mean he's a super spy.
Well, the girl, the Japanese girl is his girlfriend, Neil's girlfriend, and she's got the information stored in her head. So
information
about
that's right, because he does the weird thing with he has his fingers and he kind of just looks at him a little
here's
bit.
The steeple.
Yeah,
close your eyes and go to sleeple.
Yes,
something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, they get to that girl. They do kill her. They eventually kill her.
Eventually.
Oh, there he is.
There's the scene. Oh, Bernard Lee, of course, is M in the real James Bond. So they got.
I like how he refuses to shave his beard off.
The beard is mine. I'm
like
attached.
I refuse to shave.
That's another
it's a part
thing.
Of me.
I mean, Neil, he doesn't sound like this, and I think the big problem with him, with his charisma, if he had any, is that you can't really hear his voice. I have a feeling he sounds just like Sean because they grew up together.
Probably, yeah.
In the same house. It probably sounds like this.
I mean, you can't really see the resolution is so bad on the version we watched, but I'm pretty sure that's a wig too.
What, on Moneypenny?
No, probably. But I mean, no, on
Connery. You think he inherited? You think he inherited the receding hairline from the Connery family?
Yeah.
He's not a bad looking guy, and he does look a lot like his brother, but his voice is too thin. If he sounded like this, it was like, the beard is mine. I'm attached to it.
Something about, because he's got the beard and because he does the hypnotism thing, it sort of reminds me of that old cartoon Mandrake the Magician.
I don't
Does
know.
anybody know that?
No.
David, do you know that?
I think I remember he was on Defenders of the Earth, I think.
It was a comic strip that I'm thinking of, but that he had that same facial hair and he
You say Connery, and I can see the Connery, but I was going to say like a very young Frank Langella. That's what I was going to say.
Maybe a little bit of Frank
yeah.
Langella. Maybe a little bit. But I've seen young Frank Langella. He was in a movie Mel Brooks directed called The 12 Chairs. He has, I don't know, maybe he has a little bit of that quality, but he might be actually wearing a piece. You might be right there, David. I'm not sure.
I know these things. I'm a bald man. I know these things.
It's just, it's so unfortunate too. These are good-looking guys. I mean, he doesn't really have the, I don't know, the je ne sais quoi, if you will, of Sean Connery. I really can't put that together. But for some reason, they decide that he can be a spy because his brother's a spy.
Right, that makes total sense.
And she even gets in.
Yeah, you know what? I just realized. You know what this is? This is Smokey is the Bandit.
Smokey.
That's what this is.
What do you mean?
Smokey is the Bandit. We're gonna have Jerry Reed. And we're gonna have him dress up like like Burt Reynolds.
But I know Burt Reynolds wasn't really technically in Smokey and the Bandit Part 3, but I could have sworn there was a shot of him. One shot of him.
Oh yeah, he was in it at the very end. At the very end, he comes in.
It was just mainly. The thing is, I love that movie. They played it on cable. I know it's not a great movie.
It's not a good movie.
But I loved it because I'm
going to watch that.
I love Jerry Reed and I love Colleen Camp. So I thought it was just wonderful. I mean, Back in those days, Colleen can't forget it. Oh.
Mm.
What was I watching the other day? Oh, I was watching Police Academy 2, and she was like, she takes off her helmet and waves and shakes her head.
Hey, don't forget Clue. Don't forget Clue and whatever that thing she was wearing.
There's your that's the professor from
the
Dr.
ugly
No,
professor, Anthony Dawson.
Yeah, you got like all these people, and didn't you say like all these people kind of got paid more, especially Bernard Lee? And,
yeah, that's right. Bernard Lee and Lois Maxwell both stated that they were paid more for appearing in this one movie than all of the times they were paid for the Bond movies plus residuals.
Well, you know what? They're in it more. They're in it,
but
true,
but like it was like what I said before. When you're wanted, they'll pay you, but when you're just doing a job,
it was a gimmick. It was a gimmick. It was all like we're gonna do something. It's like we got these people, and then we're gonna get. I have a feeling that the last. It's a view to a kilt.
I think that's pretty good. That's really good. I like that. A view to a kilt. And actually, what were we watching before where somebody said you're out of your depth? And I forgot which.
Yeah, out of your depth.
I forgot what it was.
Don't
but
know.
weren't we watching?
Sorry.
We were watching something, and somebody said you're out of your depth. And I forget. It was either Casino Royale or a movie we watched. What did we watch yesterday? I don't even remember what we watched.
Well, yesterday we watched Casino Royale. Oh, you mean Avengers Infinity War?
No, nobody said you're out of your depth in that one.
All right, well then I have no idea.
They didn't say it in Black Panther either, so don't even go there.
That's what we were watching.
What was I saying? I was saying that the British films do not
pay. Yes.
Pay. They didn't back then. Now that we have big movie star appeal, they do pay. But back then, you got like a flat fee for doing your work. And a lot of times you didn't even get residual checks because it was part of the Edie Fund. Being a British film, the government kind of controls motion picture production. Well, it did back then. And a lot of filmmakers went to England because of it. I'm pretty sure that's one of the reasons Kubrick went to England is because he didn't have to take any crap from actors. But then when Connery gets really famous, he asks for a lot of money for Diamonds Are Forever. And then all these actors from England come over here because this is where they, in USA is where they pay.
Remember, Lazenby turned down the $1 million offer before he would have been cheaper than Connery.
He would have been cheaper, yes. But he dropped out.
But they were gonna actually pay him what he was worth to come back, and then he didn't want to do it. So
he didn't want to do it because, but that's because I guess he had like an epiphany or something, and he dropped out of society for a little while, became a hippie. He had an artist girlfriend that he eventually married. They lived on an island or something. I forget what happened, but
he had a pretty good life, so he can't.
But
really
everybody
complain.
told him he was throwing his life away by doing that. So.
And he was, but hey, you got to follow your bliss on that.
I guess
they're doing some kind of psychedelic torture to the girl here. They did psychedelic torture to Peter Sellers in the movie we talked about previously.
Yeah, but that was so bizarre. this isn't bizarre compared to that. Bizarre. Like I said,
this is very just slightly off of James Bond, the kind of stuff that would happen in the later James Bond, where it would just get a little more silly. But this is pretty much played straight.
It is.
This is the plot. You kind of understand the plot, sort of, even if you don't agree with it.
It's so unfortunate to me because if you had spent a little more time putting it together, and you got your actors to do their ADR like they should have, it would have been completely serviceable. I mean, even the visual effects, there's a lot of explosions in the movie. There's some interesting locations. They don't really do the production design. The big production design set piece, I think, is toward the end of the movie when they're inside that mountain and you see his lair inside there with their weird uniforms.
Welcome to my underground lair.
Yeah.
Remember the miniseries? They're dressed just like the Visitors, I swear.
Oh.
Adolfo Celi and his men.
Now, would this have been around the time? I mean, we did Casino Royale. This would have been around the time of these kind of like the very decent sort of spy thrillers. Like I'm thinking like the Ipcrest File, like basically the Michael Caine, Harry Palmer.
Well, everybody was doing spy movies, regardless of how much money they had. So you had like really good big budget spy movies, obviously, and then you had
of course
cheapies. I mean, this doesn't even register as a cheapie because I'm convinced they did spend money, but there were some really
on
really
way later
bad
you can have the one with the midget for your height only.
Which one?
Oh, no.
What?
That's
what?
painful.
I'll just send you that.
Is this real?
It's a real thing. Yeah.
For your height only?
Yeah, that's probably what it's probably the original title. Oh, there he is with the look of whatever.
The
he's
look
doing.
of love is what that is.
Yeah.
It's in their eyes.
He somehow can hypnotize them just by staring at them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, and she's very lovely. I don't know this actress's name, but she kind of looks like a Japanese Brahmin.
Yeah.
I would say. Yeah. I mean, I
See,
see a
there-
lot.
there
I see
you
a
go.
lot of.
Okay.
I mean, like my wife is very beautiful, so if I see, particularly an Asian broad with dark hair, she has kind of like a face like that because Brahmin has a face like a frying pan in a way.
Huh, thanks.
It's very widely set apart.
Oh wait, this lady here. Changing the subject. This lady here keeps showing up in different places with different hats and hair throughout this movie.
That is like the most bizarre hairstyle I think I've ever seen in my life.
She shows up. She's got.
She looks like that guy from Mork and Mindy, the cult leader. What was his
Yes.
name? Zorko or
Something
Zerko?
starts with a Z. Yes.
Something with his
Exeter.
Exeter. Oh, not
Exeter.
a Z. My bad.
Yeah, she's got hair like that.
But no, that's like only one. Like another.
Except it's puffed up though. It's
Through-
like a bowl cut that's been puffed
As
up.
part of the plot throughout the movie, she keeps showing up trying to, I guess, entrap him, and she keeps like dropping things, and he helps her pick them up.
Yeah, but he's onto her like right away.
Yeah,
'cause
yeah,
he hypnotizes
because
her.
he hypnotizes
It's like
her.
you are now.
What
going
I
to
forget
tell-
what part of this movie is why is he wearing the overalls? Like, what
This
is
is,
he?
To know that too.
I have no idea. Maybe this is
They-
exotic to Italians.
And so's that guy. Like,
This is his feelings
like,
in the
"Hey,
movie, and they show up here
We're gonna
to
dress
rescue.
you up like a hillbilly from a hee-haw.
They're here to rescue the girl who has the information in her head, and for some reason they had to dress like this to sneak onto the property.
They had to dress like hillbillies from hee-haw.
Yeah, because
Where's
No,
Lulu?
remember
Is
it.
Lulu gonna pop up? And...
they were pretending to work there. They were baling hay.
well, Sean Connery pretended to be Japanese. You know?
Yeah.
This is cultural appropriation, technically.
Oh,
if it's
oh,
Italians,
what?
we're gonna dress you up like a hillbilly.
That's-
I mean, that's kind of silly, but okay, yeah.
Yeah, that looks like a little set. That looks like a little set that they just kind of built. It looks
A little like maybe.
nice hat.
You know, I read an interesting factoid when we were doing. I don't know if I got to say it, but when we were doing Spy Who Loved Me, some of the miniature work they went to the Bond producers went to Japan and talked to, among others, Toho, and they talked to Dai. Oh my God, this is
the can
the
girls
the can
in the
girl-
middle of the road.
some kind of a weird pussycat club thing going on, and then they basically seduced these. So I read that they went to Toho and Dai, and they wanted to figure out how they did those miniature effects, and they took that information back, and that's how they were able to really create that effective miniature of that dude's weird Legion of Doom compound in the movie. So I think this is some of those miniatures they might have done for that. This is so weird, man. It's awesome though. I love this idea.
I feel like what money they did spend in this movie, they spent on hats and costumes.
Hats.
Especially,
I keep expecting Waylon Flowers to show up because there's a whole bunch of
Madam.
madams.
Help me. They this is like what does a James Bond movie not have? Hats. We're
Yes.
gonna put hats in this movie with feather boas and all kinds of crazy stuff here. When you think about it, if you took this movie apart, it's brilliant when you consider. The only thing I don't know about it is how successful it was. I mean,
Yeah, I couldn't find that information. It must have made money.
Neil was only in 2 other movies after this.
it's two
And
more than I would have
He was in
thought.
other movies?
Yeah, I know.
He was in a couple of like British science fiction movies, and I think that one of them you can actually hear his real voice. I forget which one it is. Some kind of alien invasion, creepy British thing from the early 70s.
Now, what is that? They look like little skunks.
Now they're dressed up like skunks. Apparently they were like, I don't know, but I feel like Pepe Le Pew would not be impressed.
Now I'm gonna guess he actually asked Sean that they're offering me like lots of money to go do this, and he's probably like he didn't care. He's like he didn't by around this time he was like he didn't really like the Broccolis or Saltzman, and he was like, yeah, just go do it. I don't care.
Pussies
Go make
in
money.
all the West. What does that say? Anti-gambler? I don't know what that's. But it's called
Wild Pussy
the
Club.
Wild Pussy Club. Yes.
Oh, oh.
Yay.
They really like that word, don't they? Pussy. From what I understand, well, I did ask you while we were watching the movie today. I said, "Do you think this movie comes up around the Connery table at Thanksgiving? Do you think they talk about it a little bit?" So, Neil, how many checks are you getting from your movie that you made?
Is Neil Connery still alive?
He's still with us, yeah. He's
Sean Connery is like 90.
He's going to be 90, and Neil is a couple of years younger than him. And hopefully he's retiring peacefully on a farm in Scotland. But I would say if Neil was asking Connery for advice, Connery would say, whatever you do, don't do Highlander 2.
Oh.
Or Zardoz. Stay away from Zardoz.
No, Zardoz is a classic, damn it.
Yeah, but it's considered a cult classic now, but the consensus of it when it came out was people found it kind of funny. I liked it. I loved Zardoz. We watched it once, remember?
No, I don't remember.
Yeah, we watched it. Don't you remember that enormous statue coming from the sky talking about the evils of the penis? And then there's all these women, and Connery's he's just wearing like practically just a Speedo with some kind of a brace, and he's got his long hair, and they die. Everybody's immortal, and then the movie ends with him and Charlotte Rampling sitting in a cave dying until they turn into skulls.
Oh my God! Are you
Well,
sure this was me?
No,
You remember
I could have
that?
sworn
No.
you were there with me. We watched it. I did not
Maybe
watch
I
it with anyone else.
passed
I would
out.
never watch Zardoz with anyone else. I love you, honey.
Okay.
I want to share my world with you. As
Clearly, I blocked this out.
I did have.
Great movie.
I had a story about Neil. Apparently, he was eking out a meager living as a day laborer in Scotland. He went into his job, but he forgot to bring his tools, so they fired him on the spot. For some reason, this made news because he's Sean Connery's brother. And so the producer, Alberto De Martino, read the news piece, and he saw the picture of Neil, and he said, this guy looks just like Sean Connery, because Italians cannot tell Scottish people apart either.
Oh, come on.
So he's like, what if we do some kind of like a James Bond thing, but not really be James Bond so we don't get sued? And we hire all these people, and we get Neil, and he comes in, and Neil is like in between jobs, so he's like, all right, I'll take the job. You know, he's like, who's that other guy I said? Forrest Whitaker? Forrest Whitaker, he's like, hi, this is Forrest Whitaker, I'll take it. Or Michael Caine, this is Michael Caine, I'll take it.
Right.
So he was like, I got nowhere to be, they're going to pay me, I'll do this gig. So he does the gig. And, oh, look, submarines. Holy moly, I didn't even notice. This movie has submarines in it that nobody uses. It's a lot of fun. Is this where he's wearing the muumuu? He's wearing like a gold muumuu here.
I don't know. Are we almost to the part with the blind weavers? I want to.
What are blind? Oh, you mean the rug people?
Oh yes, the blind rug makers. That was like the weirdest thing.
David, you still there?
Yes,
Oh,
I was actually while we were talking, I was looking up for your height only.
For your
I'm gonna
height.
send you.
Send me.
I'm going to send you a whole bunch of clips. It's going to be awesome.
Is it like one of those exploitation films? If you know what I'm saying.
It's starring Wang Wang. He was a very small. He was the world's smallest man. I believe he was. He was not the guy in, or maybe he was in Island of Dr. Moreau near the end. May have been that guy, but he's
Wait, are
like
you talking about the Brando version?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. There he is. He's wearing the gold muumuu.
Oh, I thought that was supposed to be some kind of like priestly robe.
I have no clue what he's doing here. This is just bizarre, man.
Well, he's obviously an evil genius because he does that whole thing with the poisoning and then the not poisoning and the water and the not water and
Yeah, that was so
discussing
that was so bizarre.
What?
That scene was so bizarre. We were like looking. He's pointing a gun at this guy, telling him to drink the poisoned water. It's what? Just shoot him.
And this is just that. This is back in that. This is their evil organization in this movie. That is Thanatos.
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 They
sorry.
pronounce it Thanatos.
Thanatos. And then and there's a Greek statue of Perseus with the head of Medusa, and that's the thing that throws the knife.
Harry Hamlin?
No, I don't know. Just a general.
But
Perseus.
it's Harry Hamlin.
Not,
though,
it's not
because he's
based on Harry Hamlin.
He held up Medusa's severed head and turned everybody into statues.
Okay, but after this not poisoning, the thing that actually throws the knife that kills the would-be poisoner is this statue of
And it comes
Perseus.
out, he hits a button and it stabs. But, I mean, it makes no sense to me, but it is a lot of fun. And like I said, it's much more fun than Casino Royale. And here we have Neil wearing the tux. Now, can we get some Q ratings on Neil in the tux?
Q ratings? Does that mean, what is it?
the beard throws me off.
His posture throws me off. What do you think?
I think he looks fine in the tux.
He's okay. I mean, like, he's a good door number 2. If Sean is door number 1, he's a very good door number 2.
He's a bit of a doorknob.
Boom, boom. Thank you. I'm here all week. Well, look at Marlo Thomas there in a cameo. She's that girl.
With the new nose.
They're all wearing kind of
Donald.
Mata Hari-ish variation costumes there, too.
Can you imagine? I mean, like, we didn't really get into it when we were talking about Casino Royale, but you did mention the 60s.
Yes.
And the 60s was such an incredible era.
Well, as far as we know, we weren't born yet.
But I did like the way Peter Sellers dressed, because he dressed like Austin Powers. He was wearing the ruffled thing. He was dressed like a mod. Is that what that was? Is that the mod
I think
look?
so. I know what you're saying. That like the popular culture and the styles at the time were all.
There's a lot of
really
60s in this
looking.
movie, but you can't. It's not really a mod movie because it's Italian. So it's
so
like
they can't be.
It's like ragu or
it's not,
prego.
It's not British enough to be.
It's a not. You be a James Bond.
No, but it is though. The
Bond.
Diane, what's this actress's name?
Daniela Bianchi.
Daniela Bianchi. Her costumes and the other girl with the keeps wearing the different wigs that we were talking about. They're very mod in their outfits. They have different, crazy mini skirts and boots and wigs and things.
What do you think of that look?
It's great. It makes me wish I had been a young person or even existed back in those times.
Well, I mean, the thing about it was that women dressed like women and men dressed like men. Like a man always had to wear a suit and tie, even when he was going out for a pack of cigarettes or something, and a woman always dressed to the nines and looked fantastic. And, you're not really seeing that much in movies anymore. Women aren't permitted to be glamorous anymore. They're not permitted to be beautiful. They have to be looked upon as being, more than that, because anything less would be considered sexist, I guess, if you want to get political for a second. Here we go with the blind. Really. These are the blind. Your blind weavers.
These are my blind weavers.
Okay, what's the plan here? What are they doing that's radioactive that they have loomers?
I didn't understand that either,
especially
because you told me that. I mean, we know the plan is to make a big magnet, so why do these poor blind people have to make radioactive rugs?
I don't know about the radioactive. I don't know that the rugs are radioactive per se.
Anyone can help me with this.
I think maybe it's a front. It's a front for a. I don't know. What do you think about this, Anderson? It's a front for a carpet company, but on the inside they're working.
Is it Virtucon? It's like Virtucon alone is over $9 billion a year.
Yes, but
a lot of money.
in the he's going to force him to do plastic surgery to make him look like this guy. Is this kind of like Thunderball or something? Are they ripping off Thunderball a little bit with this? They want to make him look like Anthony Dawson.
Why would you want that?
I
as you pointed out.
Yes, I know. Why would you want that? Indeed, but
also, why would you do this on a boat? Was the question I had. Why would you do plastic surgery on a thing that's going to rock most likely on the waves?
Could you on a boat?
Yeah.
And also, I mean, like Adolfo Celi does the stupidest thing in the universe here by leaving Neil alone with this guy. And he's well aware, I think, that Neil has the power to hypnotize
people. He's a
people.
hypnotist. Yeah.
So he hypnotizes this guy into totally going just absolutely batty and attacking everybody.
I love it. Just like, I shall now hypnotize you.
It's but
he certainly has Sean Connery's eyebrows.
Yeah. His whole eye area, I think, is Connery. I'd love to see pictures of their mother and father if they have them. I'd like to know where the looks came from.
I just imagine they both kind of look like them. Like even the mother and the father both look like them.
Well, that would be weird. We do tend to marry people we look like. It's just sort of a genetic thing.
If I did that and I had kids, they'd be super gorgeous.
You'd marry Sinead O'Connor. Something like
No.
Hey, Sinead O'Connor, good-looking woman without
way past her. She's got to be in her 50s by now.
These days, yeah. But I'm talking about in her prime. She wasn't bad, I guess. Why are we talking about this?
I don't know how you drifted on to Sinead O'Connor, but and then I never got an answer to any of my questions about this movie, but it's okay.
He's just sitting there, and then
no, he's gone crazy.
I suspect that's a stunt double. So we're making rugs, and then but maybe
he goes in. The funniest thing, though, is he goes in there and he tells them all. He freaks all the blind people out. He's like, I don't know what exactly he says. You're making radioactive rugs. And then they all stand up.
And they go, they're trying to kill us, and then they leave.
I don't know why. I'm not laughing. I swear I'm not mean. I'm not laughing because they're blind. It's just so ridiculous, though.
It's sort of weird, though. Why are you only hiring blind people?
Yeah, exactly. Like, what was the point of all that?
I mean, maybe there was an imperative to hire blind people. Maybe blind people felt...
Yeah, now we're doing the thing with the water.
Oh, this is the water.
Here it is. There was a water scene.
Yes, I understand you're going to poison me. And he's got a gun on him. He's got a gun on him,
making him drink instead of just shooting him, and then
instead
the
of
scene
just
would be over.
shooting him. It's just like Scott Evil. I got a gun. You give me 5 minutes. I'll come back and I'll just...
Although I just realized this is almost like a callback to Dr. No, because in Dr. No, Connery has the gun on him.
That's right, yeah. Well,
now he's got the gun on this guy.
Now he's going to pretend that he was poisoned, and then somebody's going to flick a button and send the knife from a statue.
Watch, yeah, it's
a very elaborate setup to get rid of a guy. That's just the way it seems. I mean, it's like, and that's the professor again from Dr. No. Let me check in here. We got about 7 minutes to go. Now we're getting to the final part of the movie, which it looks like Daniela is about to be born. Based on that.
Well, it was the late 60s,
Oh, here come Connery's Archer friends. And they're like, hey, what are we doing? So what's the show, Skipper? And he's like,
he's auditioning for Robin and Marion. Of course, Sean would get that one too.
That's right, with Audrey Hepburn. Except he didn't wear a rug for that movie, did he?
No, he was aiming for old, and then that helps.
It was supposed to be an old Robin and Marion, but Audrey still looked beautiful in the film. And those are some very tight pants. Apparently, very tight.
Mm-hmm.
So then after this movie comes out, but again, like I said, there were just so many spy movies because Bond invented this genre, basically. I mean, there were some spy movies before, but never anything on the order of success and popularity as the James Bond movies. So there was like a whole bunch of them that came out. And after this, later in the year.
Flash Gordon.
Here's your V costume.
Well, I was going to say V, but yeah, Flash Gordon too.
Oh, you're right.
Flash. Save every one of us. And they're all dressed like that.
Yeah, this is where you think, like, okay, they actually spent money because they built these, I'm wondering, like, okay, we can get these sets from like Forbidden Planet. We got this. I'm wondering, like, how much stuff was recycled from other movies that were just being made around the same time.
It could be, yeah, because this doesn't look like a toaster oven or something. It doesn't look like a stove that can make it look futuristic.
But we're talking about like the Harry Palmer movies, and that last Harry Palmer movie, I believe, $1 Billion Brain. I could swear they reused sets from You Only Live Twice because there's like this big computer center and it looks like the same sort of rocky area from You Only Live Twice.
Oh, sure, yeah. They wouldn't.
Inside, and that was a Harry Saltzman production, so it makes sense that they would just reuse older stuff from another movie.
Absolutely, especially if you know Harry Saltzman. It's kind of he's a cheapskate. It's like. Take whatever. Don't destroy anything. Save it, like Roger Corman would. Roger Corman would do that constantly.
Oh yeah.
So a little bit later in the year, or actually not even, like maybe 2 weeks later, You Only Live Twice was released, I believe.
And they made way more money.
Oh yeah, it did. This is Italian, and I don't want to sound ethnocentrist, but this
look, I don't want to be racist or anything, but I'm going to be racist.
It could be mob money financed this movie for all we know. Alberto De Martino maybe.
I would think there'd be more mob money in the U.S. The mob in America, when I think of the mob, I think of Sicily. Now Sicily is not Italy. Sicily is an island.
This could be the unspoken relationship between the Vatican and the mob. Why not? And they produced a James Bond knockoff movie. Why not? Oh, here we go with the, they're going to fight. Oh, these are stunt doubles, obviously. I picked up on that. right away, and they're gonna fight. He has
Ooh.
kind of a goofy death scene. He's got this look on his face when he falls, and it's kind of funny. But first, we have to. Whoa! Why does it look like really intense in the wide shot? But then when you get close up, they're not doing much. He just threw him, and this guy, he's a lot thinner than that other dude.
You see, now I was noticing the stuntman because it's like the wig is about to fly
Yeah.
out. He's wearing some sort of like gray wig.
Boy, I really like his jacket, though. I gotta say, I like Neil's jacket.
Oh.
Wait, is that isn't the actual death they do in archery? They do like a shoot off with their bows.
Right here.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
There it is. They're gonna point their arrows, but the thing is, he doesn't know that Neil is a prize-winning archer.
Of course he
How
is.
can you wait a minute? They're a little too far away to get a really good aim. Got him in
And
the
he
arm,
got it. In
and
the
he
arm.
smiles, thinking, "Oh well, no." And then, oh, this is just like when Roger Reese dies in Robin Hood Men in Tights. He gets stabbed with a sword, and he says, "It's not so bad." And then we pan out, and the sword went all the way through him, and he says, "Oh." And here we have the end of the movie where Neil hypnotizes M and tells him to go away. No, I don't want to be a spy. I want to hang out with Daniel Bianchi and the Cracker Jack chicks.
Yes, I like that. You didn't get it in your video, but I like the fight scene where the Cracker Jack girls are all beating up the male sailors.
Yeah.
For some reason, there's just
But
a chaos
you gotta
of blue and
remember,
white uniforms.
in strength, there is numbers.
Okay.
Let's say you have 100 newborn babies against one man. The one man is gonna die. He's gonna die, definitely.
100 newborn babies?
100
Newborn babies? What?
But the babies can't do anything
Exactly.
except
They
cry
can
and
scream
poop.
and yell. And
It doesn't
cause-
matter.
That's not going to kill you.
It might.
I don't know.
We
I'm sorry. Are you comparing the
Well,
grown women?
We better say goodbye.
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
Sorry. Okay. Thank you, David and David, and thanks everyone. For
Oh, what did
listening.
everybody think of this movie?
Oh,
I thought
sorry.
it was
I thought we were
better
doing
than
goodbye.
Casino Royale.
Yes, I guess so. It has a plot at least.
All right, Anderson.
I did too. At least there was a plot, and it was somewhat like there was a lot of what the heck is going on here? Like, why did they do this? But at least it's entertaining. I can see why this became a Mystery Science Theater 3000 because it gives them something to do. Whereas a Casino Royale, if they did it, they just could. There wouldn't be enough to really do anything with.
Yeah. All right. Next time we're talking about You Only Live Twice.
You Only Live Twice. Yeah.
Oh, an actual movie.
All right. Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
All right, you made it.